Well, the reviews are in for Wicked for good, and it seems as if the consensus is that it's the opposite of good. Critics are saying it's brainless, cowardly, and it has no heart. Well, someone call the Wizard of Oz because he could have granted this movie all three of those things. Amy, do you concur that those are three attributes that the Wizard of Oz could have granted?
So he says, but I think Wicked for Good will teach us that maybe he's full of shit.
Oh my God. If it reveals that, then I think that these critics who, are kind of maligning this film would be wrong. Because I would love to see the Wizard of Oz sort of come down from that big tower, that he sits on and just be sort of humbled for a little bit. Would that make you delighted?
Did you see the first one?
Yeah, Wicked one. Yeah, of course I saw it. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I thought it was, I thought it was pretty bad, but, but I'm, but I think that I'm excited to see how it all, I'm excited for how they sort of explain, like we've talked about before, how they sort of kind of, get us into exactly where Wizard of Oz starts. You know what I mean? Like, the Dorothy
stuff. I have no
stuff.
idea the twists of how they're going to shoehorn the characters we met in the first one into the Wizard of Oz characters that we know and love.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I assume the witch is going to probably turn that guy into a Tin Man. I don't know. You know what I realized is when I was watching Wizard of Oz, the old one, I was like, well, first of all, it's all a dream, obviously, which kind of ruins the entire premise of Wicked anyway. But then also, like, the mythology is just so stupid that Frank Baum wrote. It, like, has no, like, it's not good in any way.
Shots fired.
Well, I mean, no offense to Frank Baum, but
legendary lore.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, the movie is so wonderful. He made a wonderful, fantastical land, but none of the shit makes any sense. Why certain animals talk, why monkeys fly. It's just a completely, kind of a dumb world written for little kids.
Oh my God.
And so the wizard, trying to sort of explain the mythology that never made sense to begin with is kind of a fool's errand. And that's why Wicked sucks so bad.
I was watching an interview with Guillermo del Toro, and he said that there's very few mythologies. Like he was trying to praise James Cameron for creating such a big Avatar world, and he said like very few people have done it, like George Lucas, and he said Frank Baum.
Frank Baum.
So you would disagree he should be stricken from the list?
I mean, absolutely. I haven't read more Frank Baums if he is able to sort of expand, but the first one clearly has no sort of overriding mythology that's guiding it. It makes no fucking sense. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, it makes
have you read The Wizard of Oz?
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's all a dream. It's a dream. She doesn't actually go. The uncle
what are
represented...
the other books, though? Aren't there like 5 Oz books?
Yeah, all right. Well, let me know. I mean, let me know what else happens in it. But if I'm only using what I know from the Frank Baum world, which is the first film, which was, it was a dream that she woke from, and she realizes that the witch was that stinker neighbor who wanted to kill Toto. You know what I'm talking about. The 3 uncles that are, the 3 uncles are the 3 cowardly men. And then she wakes up and she realizes that it was sort of an allegory for what she's been dealing with as a human on Earth.
Is the dream in the book, though, is my question? That could be a little MGM twist.
Oh, you know what? This sort of, me not knowing what the
I'm not going to let you get away with this.
Me having not read, I mean, I think it's no matter what, it's kind of a dumb mythology, don't you think? The reason.
But if the movie's so great, then how can you shit on the origin?
Because the movie's so great because I'm watching sort of a weird fantastical world that Dorothy sort of created in her head that doesn't really have to, like,
as
why
written by Frank Baum.
Frank Baum. I mean, Guillermo del Toro, no offense to Guillermo del Toro, but I think there's a few people who've created epic fantasy worlds. There's maybe like 6 or 7 before Frank Baum that I put ahead of the list. No offense to Guillermo del Toro, but I think that, the songs are sort of good and Wicked. But obviously, learning how we got those flying monkeys, like, it's just so dumb to try to explain all of this stupid shit, like, with a bunch of random ways to kill. You know what I mean? It's just
you're all pissed off watching Wizard of Oz. You're like, monkeys don't fly.
No, not at all. I don't get pissed. I just think it's very, very bad. I don't get pissed. I liked it. I liked the song Denying, or I like the music in it and stuff. I just think that the mythology is so dumb and childish that it didn't need to be explained ever.
Wicked. Okay. Well, we'll
And also,
report back.
well, and also, I don't really even like the philosophy of sort of trying to justify why a villainous character, just a kind of a one-note, horribly written character from Wizard of Oz was secretly good and wonderful. Like, just the entire sort of fan fiction element of Wicked is kind of very stupid to me. But all that said, I can't wait to see Wicked for good.
I'm honestly a little scared, but yeah, we are supposedly seeing it Wednesday night, so we should have a review. I think we'll be allowed to talk about it by Friday's episode. So
Oh my God.
no holds barred.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and
Is that the phrase?
no holds barred. Yeah, I think. What does that even mean? What the hell does no holds barred mean? But that's definitely the phrase. No, I'm going to go no holds barred on this one. I don't care. I don't care that YouTube is getting us in here. I'm going to talk all about it. But I'm scared because if I didn't like the first one and I found the first one to have little merit, if this one's a slog and shitty, I'm like, holy shit, how bad could this possibly be? It was already pretty bad.
How long is it?
I think it's only 2 hours and 56 minutes.
2:17.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. But it's
Okay.
it is refreshing that critics are sort of like are letting themselves say that this one is bad. You know what I mean? Like all the reviews are like, this one really, really sucks. Like weak direction. Anyway, okay. Enough about Wicked for good. We're gonna see it. We'll have our review on Friday. We have a lot to talk about now that has nothing to do with Wicked, right, Amy?
Yeah. If you haven't listened to our Patreon episode yet, then you haven't seen us since we've been to BravoCon. So we're going to talk about the news that came out of this weekend. All of these Bravo lebs were unleashed upon Las Vegas and all sorts of crazy shit went down. We saw some of it with our own eyes. Some of it we did not. But it was wild. We're still a little bedraggled. It's a real whirlwind, but fun.
You said it. You said it. It was, obviously BravoCon happened. There's so much shit that happened. Amy and I basically had to sort of recap it all on Patreon, which is available now. Amy and I got home Monday after this entire weekend. We recorded an hour and a half of our full unfettered thoughts about it. That's available. It has to be paywalled because there's so much salacious shit in it that it would sort of break the internet if it was unleashed. So we can't let any of that stuff be known on the main feed, unfortunately. But overall, we had a wonderful time again. We had some unfortunate incidents that sort of hampered day one. We lost access to water, which is something that, I'm a huge fan of. And I love having ready access to it.
The irony of us staying at a hotel to mimic the Venetian canals filled with water and for us to have no water.
Yeah, it was so ironic, like being punished in some sort of spiritual way to go down to the lobby begging for water and then see this statue flowing with water in the main lobby was so sad. But besides the sort of the wrath of nature kind of coming down on us, the actual BravoCon was so fun. And there was, like we kind of predicted, there was some crazy shit that happened sort of in the Bravo news world. If you look at page 6, now there's like 8 huge headline stories about all of the shit that went down.
Yeah.
And we can sort of give our thoughts on all of this stuff. I don't know where you want to start. What was the most shocking thing to you?
Well, I was just thinking that I saw this one where Shep was holding court at a hotel bar and shouting about Paige and Craig to, I think, was it fans, just like normies? Or was it someone from Southern Hospitality? Like, there's somebody there. I don't even care. But when I saw it, I was like, damn. I was like, this is the kind of Shep shit we saw with our own eyes last year. And we didn't really catch, we saw a lot of people milling about and saw some exchanges and stuff, but we didn't see any, crazy headline stuff because Shep was on his best behavior every time I saw him.
Yeah, me too. I saw him and he looked just like he was, being fun and nice. But I saw this clip and you're right. He's kind of yelling at the top of his lungs. I think what Bravo celebrities, I guess at this point, don't realize, maybe because it's been 2 years. But if you're having a sort of a conversation with anyone, the likelihood is that it's going to sort of make it as news and be sort of fodder for content creators or just average fans, because they're interested in everything that Bravo celebrities are saying. So I think a lot of people sort of got caught in like hot mics or hot phones of people sitting around at a hotel and just filming Shep. And yeah, Shep was ranting, saying kind of talking about his sort of not hatred, but he doesn't enjoy Paige DeSorbo and doesn't think that the way she treated Craig was very, I guess, respectful. And he was saying that he thought it was especially awful that she broke up with Craig like on her podcast, and how that should be sort of indicative of her character and how she let things play out. Any other things that he was saying in that sort of
he
rant?
was like, it was a sham the whole time. He was very fired up about it. It's kind of funny to me that they I think that the Southern Charm people feel so indignant about the whole thing, because they're like, we are an OG show and we can deal with our own shit, and they didn't like that she was treated as this big rising star that was a addition to their show. Like, they're like, we don't need her, like, fuck her.
And Paige clearly won the PR war on this one. She did, and most fans and most Bravo celebrities sort of pledged their loyalty to Paige. So I think you could tell that Shep was just sort of angry about how everything played out. I gotta say though, it's not really a rant. I mean, it's just like he was just yelling and passionate, and he wasn't expecting to be filmed and make it onto Page 6 with this. And as Craig's friend, I just totally understand. I understand why he thinks that Craig was treated badly. If the timeline was exactly how it was, where Paige had that like pre-breakup with Craig, and then they were supposed to work it out, and then she announced it or whatever. Like, Shep has heard Craig's side this entire time, and so he just thinks his friend was treated badly. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't really care that he was yelling in defense of Craig. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't find it very like shocking or salacious or representative of him being like a drunken mess or something.
No. I think it's good for Bravo, the Summer House versus Southern Charm of it all. There was a difference, speaking of Southern Charm, feud where Madison LeCroy versus Sai from RHONY, which honestly, I don't think about Sai.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, like she's in the mix. It was because Madison said at some point that Sai was the meanest girl she had ever met. And Sai was like, I've never even fucking met you. And then people brought up that I guess they sat next to each other on some panel at the last BravoCon.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just going back and forth, like Queens of Bravo and all the accounts had to post 10 different things so that you could see what was going on. Sai said, listen, girl, leave me alone. I don't know you, and I don't remember sitting next to you 2 years ago. And Madison said, well, you remember me now, bitch. Yeah. And Sai said, I still couldn't pick you out of a lineup. You're extremely unmemorable. Because I guess someone, an account posted the she's the meanest girl I've ever met thing, and then Sai commented on the video and said, you must have me confused. Not all brown people look alike. I've never met her before. And then people were like, actually, low-key, you have. And so they just keep commenting on each other's shit, and it was, pretty juicy, I have to say.
Yeah, they were pissed. And, just because someone doesn't like remember meeting you, if you had the experience where they were very rude to you, you're allowed to say that. I mean, It doesn't matter that Sai didn't remember meeting Madison. If she was extremely rude to her, it's totally worth pointing out. Interesting exchange. Some fighting between them. I was more shocked when I thought about it more, because like you, I forget about Sai and Aaron and even Jessel, because it's been so long since we've seen them. But I was like, oh my God, it definitely means something that they were flown and paid for to go to BravoCon. Mm-hmm. Like, they would have never done that if they're just fully recasting RHONY. So the fact that it's those three, they're definitely coming back in some form, and we're getting 4 new cast members, and that's just kind of a sad state of affairs.
Shiver
for me.
To think. I don't know. Can we do it again? It really is a hard pill to swallow.
It really is. I'm just like, oh my God. I just, like I've already said, I just can't imagine retooling something and then keeping 2 of the 3 tools that were affecting
I know that
the outcome.
I think last week I brought up that rumor mill that it was going to be half OGs, half newbies with Carol in the middle. And apparently that's total bullshit, as perhaps predicted. But what do you think about Carol? Like, they have to be doing something with Carol.
I don't know.
Don't you think?
I don't know. I think Carol was maybe just brought as sort of like a fun addition because she had just got back into the world. So people thought it was like sort of an oddity, or a rare Easter egg from the past to have her. But I kind of saw Carol's content about it, and it was kind of, she was kind of like trolling BravoCon in a way. I don't know if you saw any of her clips. She was like, I was just lying and spreading gossip to everyone who talked to me, saying that I was joining the cast of Salt Lake City and that I was doing a bunch of stuff. And I was like, I don't know, that's not really that fun for people, that you're just kind of spreading fake news around BravoCon.
You're still pissed off about John Corbett lying about being on And Just Like That before he actually was.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're right. Oh my God. The fact that you just brought that up, it makes me pissed off again. Yeah, this is exactly John Corbett syndrome. I do not like that Carol is placing herself on these shows. I don't know if it represents anything. I have learned that I have no fucking clue what they're thinking with Roni. There is something deeply deep going on there that I do not have access to, and I can't predict anything. But Andy did say, it was one of his big reveals, which maybe this will lead us into the Jeff Lewis shit. One of his big reveals at BravoCon was that the Roni cast is set and that they're starting filming, which I'm like, I would think that we would immediately have sort of the notice about all of the new cast and stuff. Like, don't we get the cast at the start of filming? Doesn't that usually go hand in hand now, unless they're trying to keep it secret? I mean, the minute that those 7 or 8 do anything in public while they're being filmed, it's going to be revealed. So I was sort of shocked that we didn't get the actual announcement with Andy saying, hey, don't worry about it. We've got this handled.
Maybe they're doing a test run just to make sure it's not total shit. And they're like, no, we need like at least one episode complete before we can make this real, because it's too scary.
But I feel like Andy wouldn't have then said and made the announcement to be like, this is done.
That's why it's making me nervous. I'm like, you guys are being very cagey. But yeah, so he said that at whatever it was. I can't keep track of who said what where. But there was an Ask Andy thing that Jeff Lewis hosted that then apparently, I mean, he said some fucked up shit. He always does, but he said, he was making jokes about like housewives being poor. He said something about like someone losing their SNAP benefits, and everyone's like, Jesus Christ, Monica, can you like relax? Oh yeah. But besides that, he was asking Andy some questions, and I will say that I saw some comments that I agreed with, that Andy is so guarded and like diplomatic with his answers at all of this stuff, to the point where it's kind of useless. No offense.
No,
God forbid I insult the king. But it's like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, that was part of my complaint, if I want to like shit on BravoCon a little bit, is like, we went to the Valley panel. Every question they would go, you have to tune in. And I'm like, did I or did I not spend $650 to sit here and have you tell me shit that I couldn't hear elsewhere? Like, what is this?
Yeah. Well, that's sort of, it's Bravo's response. I agree with you completely. And the Valley panel specifically was one where it was like, we just got done filming. We don't know what we're supposed to say. And also there's a lot of newbies to Bravo that don't want to get in trouble. So that panel specifically kind of landed like a dud. Bravo needs to sort of make sure that whatever panels they're aggregating are not like, can actually reveal things and talk about stuff. Because I remember that with the Southern Charm panel 2 years ago. They all were in the middle of filming, and they hadn't filmed their reunion yet, so they weren't allowed to talk about like sort of 50% of the most burning questions that everybody had. So I think Bravo needs to be a little more strategic with panels to know exactly what can be said. And actually, the Salt Lake City panel, they're in the middle of filming, but they kind of created a new way to sort of orient the panel by making it about the most iconic moments of Salt Lake City while still getting into details from the episodes that had just aired. So I think that just sort of it was a misfire with the Valley to not have some sort of lens to treat the Valley in so that they could actually say stuff. But then back to your point, Andy, Cohen, and Bravo, sort of the sensibility of Bravo is to say the most sort of like dynamic thing, like like Erica Jane always says that when she was asked whose marriage is going to fall apart, and she was like Dorit and PK, and then when she had to explain herself, she was like, they want a salacious, fun answer from me, and so I just said something at the top of my head. We are so used to sort of that being the Bravo ethos, and then Andy doesn't really partake in that anymore. And all the answers from Andy would have the most weight in the world, and I think it's been a while since he's made sort of a shocking declaration like that.
I know. It's I get it. There have been too many lawsuits. He's gotten in trouble too many times. But when you watch What Happens, the shit that he says was, he was way, I would say, closer to Jeff Lewis in a way where he was sort of poking the bear. But I think it's just he's corporate now.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jeff Lewis, I heard him sort of ranting, and he was like, I was set up. I gave Andy those answers or those questions ahead of time, and he could have purposefully been like fun and teased this shit, and then he went and teased a bunch of stuff. So I felt like, I was set up to fail from this entire experience. I mean, I don't really think that this is going to be an ongoing feud. Obviously, I think that Jeff Lewis is just paid to talk about his experience, and so he's just kind of venting about how bad that Ask Andy panel was.
Yeah, they have a funny dynamic. He was claiming that he was like, I tried to text him to apologize and he won't respond. So I'm sure they'll have it out on like Radio Andy or something. But that speaking of like feuding and salacious answers, I watched I think it was called it was every night this week, instead of Watch What Happens, they're doing the BravoCon live with Andy, and it was like an all housewives one for the first night. It was I don't know how many housewives were there, like 30 of them or something, and they did squash that beef, and they had Dorit, Erica versus Luann, because apparently Luann said that they were rude to her, and Dorit was like, what do you mean? Like, and Luann was kind of just like, I didn't mean, she's like, I meant they were bad bitches, like in a good way. And she's like, you guys just didn't really pay attention to me at the last BravoCon. She didn't really have anything to say. And Dorit was like, okay. And Erica didn't say a word. And they were like, how about you, Erica? And she goes, I'm good. And she just walked away all pissed. I was like, damn. Like, I was a little bit like, have some respect for Luann. She's the blueprint for a housewife who performs. I wanted her to kind of be like, it's fine. Like, let's collab. But she was like pissed. I was like, damn.
Yeah,
She's
Andy said,
ice queen.
Yeah, Andy said, I can't squash this beef as hard as I'm trying. There's still beef in the air between these. Again, though, in Luann's defense, people ask you a question and you want to be fun as hell, and so you just say random shit. And I don't think like you're being purposefully sort of salacious, and I don't. It didn't make me think for one second about Erica and Dorit's character that they didn't pay homage to Luann. They might have been rushed, or, you know what I mean? I think you need to meet somebody twice or three times if you have before you can declare them horrible and rude. You know what I mean?
Vicky experience proves that.
Wow. Yeah. That's where that philosophy, you're kind of you're tapping into my psychology that I'm not aware of, which is exactly right. I had a very embarrassing, awkward kind of first interaction with Vicky where I was like, this is horrible, worst case scenario, because I loved Vicky so much.
She was like, no, please, if I take a photo with you, I'll have to take a photo with everyone. Please leave me alone. But then she did it anyways. But this year, you may have seen, there's a little bit of a I would say one of the best pieces of content that's come out of BravoCon, period.
Wow. Amy, thank you.
Riley talking to Vicky about life insurance, and she gets so pissed that he doesn't have it, which I think he should get it through Vicky. That's my opinion.
If I'm going to get life insurance this year, which I will.
Don't say if.
Okay.
Didn't you hear what she said?
Of course.
The cemetery is filled with people who didn't know they were going to die.
I know I'm going to die all too well. It's all I think about.
That's what I thought.
It's all I think about every night before I go to bed. I'm just not ready to fully accept my mortality. But obviously, when I turn 40, I am going to obviously.
You could probably get a better rate if you get it at 39. Frankly.
All right, you have life insurance?
I don't think I do right now. My sister might have it on me, but I don't have it. For myself, I had it when I had like a corporate job. I always had it because it's like part of your plan or whatever. But I have been considering it. I don't have any dependents. Like, no one's really fucked if I die, you know? Like
Yeah.
Jimmy, I mean, I don't give him money.
Right. Of course. You're right. I'm going to get it
But
for sure.
I think I've been considering, me and Jimmy are not married, but we've been together so long and we live together that I'm like, I should have it on him. Like, we should just have it on each other. Vicky famously has it on Dawn still.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm just, yeah, I'm still, I need to read that book, Denial of Death, or whatever it's called. I'm ready for that. It's just, it really is going to kick in when I start to have life insurance, knowing that this is, for when I die, which could happen at any time. But it was amazing to sort of get that firsthand lesson from Vicky,
Yeah.
when I asked that question. And if I do get life insurance, it will absolutely be through Kodo Insurance. I'm doing that no matter what. And it's just that I just need to accept my death a little more in the next couple months.
Take it from me as someone whose apartment burned down when I didn't have renter's insurance.
Right. I'm
insurance good.
Insurance good. You're right. And I think that summarizes pretty succinctly what Vicky was trying to get across to me. But just how you teed this up is that that second interaction with Vicky was like the best thing in the world. Everything about it, not just that she was so funny with her answer and like it was just amazing watching her sort of talk to me for 5 minutes, but like she was just so nice and sweet to me and gave me and Megan so much attention. So I really do feel that philosophy sort of holds true, that you can't just judge somebody's character based off one flippant reaction. And that goes back to Luann versus Erica and Dorit. I'm sure she was just saying some random fucking shit. Like when she said Ratsville at my cabaret that I always think about, she didn't truly think Carol Ratsville was like horrible. She just wanted to make us sort of delighted and squeal in our seats,
I love Ratsville. We were saying that all week and we were just like, Ratsville. I also constantly think of when at Bluestone when she texts her, sorry, I said you were a pedophile.
Of course, one of the best moments of all time. What about this last? Or not last, but this one was kind of, this one sort of I think is more in our sort of vein of real things to think about and what they mean. And I kind of have, I'm interested in this one more. It was footage that I don't think anybody wanted to be revealed, obviously, but it was Tom Sandoval and Victoria Lee Robinson having an encounter with Lindsay Hubbard, probably at the wherever they were staying, in that area. Villa Rosa VIPs know. But obviously fans were around and they're kind of doing the incognito mode, like pretending you're looking at Instagram, but then you're secretly filming and flipping your camera. And it sounded like Lindsay Hubbard was telling Tom Sandoval and Victoria to get it together, sort of get out of here, because I think my assumption was that they were sort of having a weird fight and Lindsay Hubbard was telling them to get their shit together and stop doing this because anybody can see them.
Yeah, it was hard to determine. It's a pretty short video. She says something like, stop what you're doing, like you're gonna ruin everything or something like that. Which I'm like, damn, they're still acting up like this. Like, what a nightmare.
Yeah, it seems like an awful relationship. I'm not gonna like pretend anymore. This is like the third or fourth weird thing that they've done since they've started dating. The whole Machine Gun Kelly or Rockstar fucking relationship they're trying to have is so ridiculous. Like, if you can't even get it together after 2 years or however long they've been dating, that you have to fight like that at BravoCon, that is a horrible sign. And I kind of felt like Tom Sandoval had the worst fucking BravoCon of all time. Like, he was just on the Traders panel. I didn't see him in anybody's photos. I felt like him and Victoria just had to be like holed up in a Four Seasons bathroom the entire time.
Sid and Nancy.
I'm just so over the Sid and Nancy thing. No relationship, no offense to Sid and Nancy, who I love, and I think they had a wonderful relationship, but no relationship should emulate Sid and Nancy. Like, especially a Bravo version of that.
Do you think he was frightened after last year, how he got booed to the high heavens everywhere he went? Because I feel like this year he would have been fine.
I think he was okay, but I do think they asked him at the Traders panel, will Will You Go on the Valley? And I think it was pretty muted. I mean, I saw that, obviously Bravo fans, when they're in a big crowd, they can be kind of ruthless. Like we watched Jared Osman just get completely booed to shit at the Salt Lake City panel. And even though I don't like Jared Osman, I was like, ooh, God, that sucks to hear somebody booed like that by thousands of people, So I'm sure Tom Sandoval still got a lot of that. And I'm sure a lot of people still didn't want Tom Sandoval in their photos and stuff. Like, don't say that you were at this event with me. So I think that it's like he still has not been redeemed. And so I just overall, I didn't really see everything that he posted, but I just felt like him and Victoria must have kind of had a bummer time, I would imagine.
I saw that I think even by day 2 or something, Ariana was already in Mexico going to Charlie from Vanderpump Rules' wedding. And then I checked again today and she's in like Singapore now.
Oh my God. That
like,
is so
damn, jet set. Where are her pets? Sorry, not to like judge, but I'm like, does she ever see her pets?
Aww.
She's always in Bali. She's always in God knows where. New York.
Well, let's get
Mexico, Singapore.
Yeah, well, let's figure that out.
Who's cleaning the litter box?
Yeah, let's figure that out. But yeah, no, I saw that too. That sort of jet set lifestyle, and that's wild. I mean, could you imagine? Like, I can't even get out of bed today after BravoCon. Any other news that you wanted to talk about? Sort of these. Oh, one thing that we wanted to say is that if these sort of didn't kind of spark joy or intrigue or whatever, there's probably 100 more things that we have yet to learn about what actually did happen. These are only the page 6 fan shit, but stories are going to be revealed over the next couple of months. One thing that I think we should talk about, we talked about this more on the Patreon, obviously, but there were a lot of inklings that Kyle and Amanda are not doing very good at BravoCon. We got into it a lot more, I'll just say that, but from the way that I knew their sort of appearances in 2023, they were not really around each other at all at any panel except the Summer House panel, which if Kyle or Amanda hadn't gone to that would be the biggest red flag in the world. So I think they both knew they had to appear at that. But other than that, they were really not around each other. And I think that there's just a lot of evidence now, if you view everything through that lens, that shit is just not going too well between them, and those rumors might be true. I just wanted to say that.
Good for the summer in the city or whatever the hell it's called. I will be watching. And then other than that, we were just going to say that we saw a shitty trailer for that Mormon Wives show that Stassi's doing the reunion again. She did it before, right?
I think it was Nick Vial who did it before.
Stassi did Vanderpump Villa reunion.
Oh, she did? Oh my God!
Didn't she do some sort of a reunion?
Oh shit, Amy, you busted me. I have no fucking clue what reunion. I have no idea what reunion Stassi did. I thought this was a huge scoop, like that she had never done anything like this before. What this kind of made me think in my brain, if you'll allow me to let it come out of my lips, is that Stassi's like certified Hulu talent now.
Yeah.
Like she's like their biggest reality personality that they think is justified in starting to host reunions, something that I didn't think Stassi had ever done before. I was like, you really put like the Hulu brand on yourself, that you can sort of go around the Hulu universe and do anything.
Right. Yeah, she did the Vanderpump Villa reunion like 6 months ago or whatever. So yeah, that's just interesting. I saw someone, I think I saw it on Twitter that Katie posted something like, "Oh, it was BravoCon this weekend?" ?
She did?
Like, I'm sure her feed was so insane. Like, if mine was insane, hers was insane. But I'm like, girl, like, what do you do? Where are you?
Hulu.
But that it's not like her show.
She's in the Hulu world. Yeah, but she's a cast member on that.
Does she count as a cast member because she's on she gets lunch with Stassi one time on her show? Like, is she in the opening credits?
I think she's in it. I think she's in it a few times. We don't have any lingering brand associations with Hulu, right?
No.
Could you imagine going from Bravo talent to Hulu talent?
Bleak Street. I mean, that is under the umbrella of the Big Mouse, though. The Mouse House.
Right. So you could do Mouse House stuff.
Katie's obsessed. She goes to Disneyland all the time.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know she's
She's
Disneyland
always
head.
there.
Oh, I didn't know wow, I didn't know she was a Disneyland head.
She's
did
that
you,
like Disney rocker category.
Disney rock? Oh my, well, yeah, of course I know that category. I'm one of them. I'm sort of the rocker guy that shows up at Disney. Me and my wife. we, what I was gonna say is that I was gonna ask: is Secret Lives of Mormon Wives good?
I stopped watching it, so I can't answer that. It's not for me.
Yeah, if Vanderpump Villa's quality is any indication of what Hulu thinks is a quality reality television show, then I don't know if I have a lot of hopes for that. But I do know that a lot of people love Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So who the hell knows? But I'm glad Stassi is, there's a life for her at Hulu. I obviously
Sure.
just wish that she was in that secret, wonderful, beautiful Bravo world that she used to be in, but
Yeah.
she's not anymore.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say is that we did get a sneak peek of the newest Vanderpump Rules iteration, which is coming in like 2 weeks. So we'll cover it in full. But we talked about it more on Patreon, but maybe we were drunk. Maybe we were just happy to be there, but we kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, Amy and I were like we locked eyes like 7 times, and the look in our eyes was like, holy shit, this is good, and it's making us laugh. And there were moments like where some of our friends were doubled over in laughter at the things that these new cast members were saying, and I was like, my God, I already talked about this, but within 2 minutes, one of the cast members goes, "Hey, they say I look like De Niro," and then he goes, I can't do it, but he does a perfect Robert De Niro impression in his confessional. And I was like, my God, a Robert De Niro impression within 2 minutes. And then the other guy references The Shining. And I was like, holy shit, like this is really cool in terms of referencing a bunch of kind of stuff that I love within like 2 to 3 minutes. Was kind of fun. Did you find that to be fun?
Those really stood out to you. I love it. No, it was like goofy. It felt just very like hijinksy and light,
Yeah.
Like if you don't compare it to the Shakespearean level of what used to be going on in Vanderpump Rules, and you're just like, we're back to like dumb broke people that are getting into hijinks, then it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it was better than I anticipated, actually, because I didn't see the charm of the cast members in the trailer. But when you get a bigger glimpse at like Marcus and Natalie, I specifically thought they had star quality. Natalie, I don't know anything that's going to happen with her. I watched her for 30 minutes, but I thought that she was able to sort of hold my attention every time she was on camera. The same with Marcus. I actually thought he was like much funnier than I would have ever expected. And so for me, Vanderpump Rules is sullied and ruined, and I love the former cast members, and I think this is sort of like a desecration of what they built. My dream, like I already said, would have been if the Valley had existed as actual, a spinoff for all of the cast members, then this would be the perfect sort of supplement, to the Vanderpump Rules that we had. And then now we have this new iteration. It's only because, the 6 or 7 or so cast members were sort of left by the wayside that I can't fully enjoy this new iteration.
Right. So more to come on that. And then I think next week there's going to be that tip your hats, raise your glasses, old Vanderpump Rules retrospective. I don't really know what that means, but on this episode next week, we will be talking about it because it's on next Tuesday. So more to come on that. And we're going to do a quick touch base on Potomac. It wasn't the best episode. I am getting a massage in 30 minutes. So we have 15 minutes to cover it. Go.
Whoa. Okay. All right. You're getting massage. 15 minutes to cover this. I thought this was a really boring episode of Potomac, and
yeah,
because we had just sort of experienced like Bravo, like the most fun sort of Bravo energy, and we were like, I was coming down from it and reliving all of these moments to then just sit and watch this episode. I was like, God damn, this is like.
Yeah,
bad
it was
and
sort
boring.
of just like bits and pieces, oddly enough. I guess up top we can talk about the thing that you sent me, that there was a little teaser of the Grand Dame's comeback, and it looks like they're going to, I kind of wish that, okay, there's a thing where it's like Andy rings on the doorbell and does a sit down, and I'm like, I guess it's going to be just on the show, but I feel like his previous sit downs were standalone. Like, remember he did that one where he visited Luann after her arrest and it was in the Hamptons. He did a one-on-one with Teresa in the clubhouse. He's done a few, but this one I guess is just going to be inside the Potomac episode, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, but I think it makes sense if you think about how this season needs a big boost and why the only reason that we're talking about the future of this season is because there is a sit down with Karen. I think that it is to kind of tell the audience, we didn't want Karen to leave. These were unforeseen circumstances. So imagine that Karen is back in this world as soon as we could get her. And, I mean, the quality definitely suffered from a lack of Karen. And we sort of got a reclamation of Karen this weekend, too, because she was like the first person to come out at the Bravos and she got a standing ovation.
I saw so much commentary online where it was like, only on Bravo does someone that just got out of jail for their 4th DUI get a standing ovation. Like, everyone was like, welcome back, queen.
I had that sort of in the back of my mind as well. I'm like, it's so funny that we're all just cheering and absolutely loving this. But it does look like, I think Karen will finally, she does say, I'm here to talk about addiction, which is something that she absolutely would not say before she got sentenced. So if she's ready to be fully honest, then that will be great. And maybe Andy had that in the back of his head, knowing that this is coming up in the next couple of episodes, that, hey, guess what? Karen is going to be redeemed when she starts to get real about everything that was going on. Anything else? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say the same thing where I saw a tweet that was like, it was like, I love that Andy Cohen handed a 65-year-old insurance agent an orange, and the entire crowd was like crying. Like, you have to, it's like, if you know, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that is the true power of Bravo. I mean, I talked about this a little bit, but like, there were moments, those 3 moments of Karen, then Vicky getting the orange, and then Candy Burris's speech. Yeah. Like, I've never heard an Oscar speech that was better than what Candy delivered at the Bravos. Yeah. Like, people were just uproarious, just screaming, so proud of Candy, and that's what makes Bravo so unique and fun. Those kind of moments. Yeah. What else from this? We just talked about Karen. I'm glad that Karen sit down is going to be the season because it'll make us watch the episode. But I didn't really, no offense, I didn't see one moment that I was excited about. And a problem with this season, which we've talked about over and over again, I don't even know who the hell listens to our Potomac coverage, but this duration that we've had to deal with, this Monique and Stacey shit, I think that this is one of the worst long-standing, like amount of episodes per scandal ratio. This is one of the worst imbalances I've ever seen in my life. I just want to say up front, I've already said it. What does it matter for 1 second if Stacey started to casually date Chris Samuels, a person, the ex of a person that she has never met before in her life and never knew until that person started filming with her?
Right.
In this, I can't even like, it's past who cares. Yeah. I don't understand it. Why is that a big deal? What is the problem?
As if I give a flying fuck, except unless they're trying to say that she was trying to weasel in. They just keep trying to frame her as being a liar or like scheming. They did get her on the cannabis line. She did straight up lie about that. And then I am a little bit entertained that it's almost like she's playing into it, where one of the plot lines this episode is that she tells us the name of it, and she's chosen a Nigerian name. And she's like, I've recently found out that I have Nigerian heritage. And it's like, it almost feels like she's trying to play into the fact that that will piss off Wendy, because Wendy has a cannabis line and she's famously very proudly Nigerian.
Yes. And, Wendy has a sit down with Stacey, and she actually says, I like Stacey. She's like, there's some weird stuff about her. I think that she's just not a very serious person, but I like that about her. So she's kind of giving Stacey the benefit of the doubt. But as she learns in this lunch that when it says that it's a cannabis line that has the happy connotation, and then also like Stacey is sort of dressed the same. She's kind of like, you're entering single black female territory. Like, I'm starting to get worried about how many sort of similarities of you trying to sort of copycat my life. And I wanted to ask you, like, I didn't think this. I didn't actually. I thought that it was sort of an independent conclusion that Stacey made, but with her sort of getting in touch with her Nigerian roots at the exact same time, and then her having that sort of play on happy with the definition of it, it is sort of getting into territory where I'm like, are you trying to emulate Dr. Wendy? Because that's a lot of coincidences. I really need, for me as the biggest #1 Stacey fan, who I got to meet twice at BravoCon, I really need her to talk about her relationship with marijuana and why that this is sort of the business that she chose. If I saw like sort of a QVC length clip about her talking about her relationship with weed, I think that it just seems like such an outlier, because I didn't know that she had that relationship with edibles or whatever. If she had sort of justified at least that part, I would sort of understand why that was her business, and not just one of those things that you like kind of stick your name on as a housewife, like a brand. But then this kind of stuff, like, it's like you said, it's sort of adding a little more on the side of what Ashley and Giselle and now Wendy are saying about Stacey, where I'm possibly off and skewed about how I view Stacey in a way.
Right. No, I did appreciate at BravoCon that you could tell that Stacey was a rising star. I literally watch some form of her QVC clips like every day. I find them very calming. Oh, did you also notice that Wendy was remodeling and she had the carpets ripped up?
I noticed that, and I just didn't understand where, in the wife swap timeline, if we were just post her getting all that red paint spilled on her carpet from wife swap. But it has to be, right? If the carpet was pulled up, this has to be after that big accident. And then she used that and took the initiative to remodel like her entire house after that.
I know. I want to know more. I wish I would have known before we were there. We could have been like, when did your remodel align with the wife swap red paint carpet?
Yeah, no, I would have loved to know that as well. And I also wanted to know where in the timeline the burglary. This is post burglary, so they could be using sort of the money from that light sort of insurance
we could
fraud.
Probably figure that out pretty easily if we tried.
Yeah, we could.
Okay, also they just shoehorned in Jazzy's wedding, which almost felt like it was just, I don't even know why they filmed it for how little they showed. Stacey, Ashley, and Wendy flew out to Dallas. It seems like they only flew out for like 2 hours and then flew back. They showed it for a single second. I was like, why even bother? Like, they could have just shown some like home footage.
I think it was to honor Jazzy as a friend of, because like she had gone on that trip with them, and they knew that Bravo wasn't going to like pay to film that wedding, even though she's a friend of, and like they feel like her status on the show warranted her possibly showing her marriage off. So maybe that was the cast member sort of rallying around her so that her wedding got some sort of coverage, no matter how little.
I guess it was just weird. I was like, oh, we're doing that. And then it ends on World Pride. Ashley is in her drag king outfit. She makes everyone these, airbrush shirts with perverted names on them. Oliver, her tits. D grease D's nuts. Lick her hosen. Proper pussy popper. Serving jizz. Come inject her. Doctor do it a lot. And then Kay shoehorns in. Monica shows up and she goes, how have you and Stacey not met? And she's like, what? And she's like, oh, she met your ex-husband because she dated him. And it's like, to be continued. I'm like, who fucking cares?
No, seriously, yeah. It's one of the most like forced and lame sort of segues into conflict, the way Kay handled that. She was just ready and gave Monique maybe 5 seconds before she wanted to get into really throw Stacey under the bus right in front of her to Monique. But again, like you said, I mean, I don't really know a lot hinges sort of on Monique's reaction. If she's really pissed, which I kind of don't think she will be, because she sort of has this, she seems like, she talks about how she like went to therapy and discovered how much trauma she had, which sort of went into why she had that huge fight with Candace.
Yeah.
So I kind of don't think was not a very good way to bring Monique back into the group by Kay instigating a fight that Monique should have the minute that she kind of steps into the bar with another cast member. And it just felt very lame and sort of contrived to me.
I
at
totally
the end of this
forgot
episode.
about that altercation. I
God.
deleted it from my memory.
Oh my God. I just watched it beforehand just because I wanted to sort of remember the visceral reaction I had when I watched it. I mean, it has to be the worst fight in Bravo history. Oh my God. Yeah. And so, this is not like, I like Monique. I do. Like, I think that she had some great moments, but I was not one of the people that was clamoring for Monique to come back. I'm sure she has a huge section of Bravo fans that always wanted this, or maybe Potomac fans who miss her. But I was not one of the people. I thought that they made the right decision at the time to sort of give Monique, some time off, or potentially sort of move on without her. So maybe people who love Monique were really happy with this sort of comeback for her, but it didn't do much for me.
Yeah. Now that T'Challa is no longer Earthside, I have less interest, but she does have a new bird. So maybe there's something there.
Yeah. How much time do we have before massage?
None.
Okay.
Do you have anything else to say?
I was going to say that Ash Top sort of landed like a thud for me as well. I loved Ash
We've seen
Top.
it.
Yeah, I loved Ash Top last time, even though I don't really understand. It's Ash T.O.P. I don't remember what the acronym is. Ash T.O.P.
Yeah, I think there will be more next week because she's going to perform, I'm sure.
I hope so, but it was just kind of, it was not as it was a little weaker, this sort of attempt to bring Ash Top back. But you're right. Hopefully full sort of Ash Top celebration next week. But anyway, this was a rough one to come back to after BravoCon.
Yeah, but we do have a shining endorsement from Andy Cohen that this week's Salt Lake, that we will talk about after my massage, is one of his favorites of all time across all housewives, which maybe that's too much. We should not expect that, but the season has rocked, so I'm excited.
I can't believe it can get much better. I mean, that's amazing. So let's go. I'm going to go get a massage as well. So let's go get 2 massages separately, and then we'll come back for Salt Lake City.
Great. See ya.
What the hell was Andy talking about?
Yeah, it was fine. I kept waiting for something incredible to happen, and it was like, whatevs.
Yeah, and what we're referring to is that we both heard/thought we heard Andy Cohen tout this week's episode of Salt Lake City as one of the best episodes in Housewives history. And unless we got it wrong and he meant next week's, I'm kind of shocked, because by 45 minutes, I was like, there's no way this could be Andy's favorite episode if nothing good has happened and it's just dependent on the last 15 minutes. And then I didn't really, no offense, but I didn't really even think the last 10 minutes at Mary's church were that great. No offense.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense at all, but that was that was a lackluster episode of Salt Lake City.
Come in hot with hater energy, but I think our expectations were just different. At first, I was like, does he love the sisterly energy of them throwing a party for Brittany? But all I could think during it was, if they feel this bad for her, then the plane must have been horrible.
What you mean, like? Well, yeah, of course. I mean, that's the assumption, right? Obviously, that Brittany, yeah. No, I understood why they're having a wonderful Brittany celebration moment to like make up for the plane flight. But I mean, that was good. I'm just talking about the overall episode. Even with high expectations, like even if it was like a near masterpiece, I'd be like, oh, I don't love it as much as Andy, but I get what he was saying. Like, this was just a very basic episode of any franchise. So I'm very interested to if he got the episode date wrong, or if he just, I don't understand it at all. But we'll walk through it. But I, like you, I was just kind of like, when is the cool stuff going to happen? Nothing even comes close to rivaling the last 2 or 3 masterpiece episodes that we've already watched this season.
I know. Strange, yeah, because it really has been really good. So I believed him, and then it has really slowed down since what we've been seeing for the past few weeks. So it was just weird. But
is there any possibility that you and I are just both wrong and we didn't hear that, or we both heard it, right?
No, he said that. I think. Where did he say that? I think he literally said like this Thursday.
Yeah, I have so much BravoCon loose strands in my head, like that I'm like, where the hell did that come from? And was that in real life or was that from a news story?
Yeah.
But if he was talking about this episode, I'm very confused, and it's quite possible that he was. Oh, I have to clear up one thing. I did some research when we were both getting our massages on my phone, and I looked up, and you were so right about Frank Baum's mythology about it not being a dream. In his movie, it was an MGM twist. I think whoever directed Wizard of Oz
How did I know?
Yeah, they were like, no one's going to believe this fucking shit. Let's just pretend it was all a dream. And Frank Baum was probably like, no, it's all, how are you going to do the sequels? Or how are you going to write fan fiction about it if it's a dream? And they go, we don't care. There's not going to be any shit that ever comes after this. So apologies, Frank Baum. You kind of figured shit out. And he wrote like 5 sequels to it. Like the Tin Man in the Woods, the Cowardly Oz. I guess he, at one point Oz gets really cowardly and the lion has to help him get his courage back.
Yeah.
So you were right, and I only could base it off this, the movie I'd seen. So apologies to Frank Baum.
Sorry, Frank Baum. Have you ever seen Return to Oz?
I want to see that. I want to see that because I watched the trailer and I thought it looked so cool and kind of scary.
Yeah.
And there was a Sufjan Stevens song that also referenced Return to Oz. It was an album named with all like movies that they were watching or something. So I've had a lot of goodwill towards it, of wanting to put it on, but I've never watched it. Have you?
Yeah, I remember I saw it in childhood, and I remember it being actually scary.
Cool.
It has Fairuza Balk from The Craft, who I think is scary always. And she's not supposed to be scary in this movie. She's a little girl, but she really scares the shit out of me in The Craft. So, yeah, I need to revisit, but I remember it being like upsetting to watch as a young girl.
Yeah, I want to watch it. And then maybe that will sort of be like, oh, maybe like it explains a lot of what the hell was going on in Oz and why there's Munchkin Land. Well, whatever. Let's not go back into it. But I'm gonna do my research. It's on me now to justify my comments earlier, and I'm gonna figure it out. But for now, let us go to Salt Lake City, where we start this episode. It was called. This episode was called
The Higher the Hair, the Closer to God.
And that
was a good double meaning.
Yes, I was just going to give it credit. The Higher the Hair is from this first scene. It's bookended title, and then Closer to God for what we witness at Mary's church. Whitney is hosting a potluck to honor Brittany for what she endured on this flight from hell, Meredith Marks's flight from hell. And the only people that are not invited are Lisa and Meredith, obviously. And they're doing a bunch of little things to surprise her, like making broccoli, making Greek rice, and then they're going to do their hair, high body count hair, which we all remember what that reference is. And they're putting their hair kind of, how would you describe what their hair looks like?
Teased at the crown. We also because Whitney says she opened broccoli and it smelled like shit. I think Angie says the F word again. We cannot escape. It's now been unleashed. They have now a Bravo award surrounding the F word topic. So it's just canon now that they talk about that all the time.
Yeah. We're on a 4-fart run. I think there's been fart related stuff in the last 4 episodes. And I have to say, sort of, this is detrimental to the franchises because it's going to encourage a lot more people to talk about farts.
I know it is unfortunate, but we'll have to get over it, I guess. I thought this was kind of cool. They had a teddy bear station, which we have to assume is normally reserved for child's parties, but for this purpose, it was just what they needed.
Yeah, it really was. It was just what they needed. Brittany walks in and she's delighted by seeing these teased hairdos. She goes, do you all have high body count hair?" And they go, "Yes, you got it right away." They're just having fun. And then I think this is a Bronwyn sort of event, because she alluded to this on the panel, the Salt Lake City panel, about wanting to get a new teddy bear for Brittany to replace the Osmond one. So they all record voices, new voices for her, and they go around in a circle. Brittany has to do her hair while they all say their like kind of uplifting phrases in these different animals for Brittany to listen to.
Yes. Angie's is in Greek, and they all the other ones say something nice, but then Mary's has no message, which was kind of sad.
Yeah, she should have just said her name or something. Or just said, yeah, anything, because it just has now static, like 30 seconds of weird static. Like, that's kind of scary, but Mary says that she's not, Brittany, I don't think we saw this scene, but Brittany on the boat said, when Mary said something offensive to Brittany goes, "You are the least Christ-like person I've ever seen in my life." That obviously strikes a chord with Mary. Horrible thing to say to Mary. And Mary said, "Even though Meredith treated her like shit, that doesn't mean that I like Brittany, but I'm just here to sort of support her for a second,
Right.
from what she endured."
Yeah. Brittany is not, Mary's the only one that in this immediate group that is still sick of Brittany. And Whitney is saying, starting to turn the group on Lisa and Meredith, saying Meredith crossed the line. Heather says that she needs to make amends with Brittany. So they're all sort of, they're throwing this party to make it clear that the other two are on the outs until they apologize. And then it switches to Bronwyn. Who says she's not? Who brings it up?
Whitney.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I do want to say, just to your point of the icing out, there is a moment where Heather is like, "I will never forgive them until they make amends." I talked to Lisa, and she has a completely different version, a gaslight version of what she's trying to make me accept that I will never accept. And then Whitney goes, "When did you talk to Lisa?" And Heather goes, "Yesterday." And Whitney had a shocked look on her face, and I felt like Whitney and Heather obviously have teamed up to ostracize Lisa and Meredith, and this is a takedown season on Lisa Barlow, so it kind of shocked her that Heather was still getting scenes with Lisa whenever she wanted, like kind of like a betrayal in a way, is how I felt it. Because this is exactly what you said. They are trying to have as many scenes as they can while not having Lisa and Meredith. If they could do 2 takedowns of them, that's what they would want. They would want this to be the show moving forward, and the rest of the episode is sort of just reinforces that. I was getting really offended by Heather's actions this episode, I have to say, the entire time.
Okay. So then we move on to talking about Bronwyn. She is not wearing her wedding ring. She informs the whole group about the Todd looking at lingerie texts on the plane, and that she had him stay somewhere else. And she basically just reiterates everything that she talked about with Whitney at the lunch last week, saying, if he wants to have a new arrangement, I'd be open to it. And everyone's pretty chill about it. I would have assumed I was surprised there wasn't more shock.
Yeah, maybe because Whitney had already heard it or something, and Whitney probably told everybody. But yeah, I didn't really get it. I didn't really understand Todd Bronwyn's scene coming up either of what's going on. I just don't get it. It's like we're not living in a real world where someone got busted for cheating. Like, if I got busted looking at lingerie photos and like zooming in on brasiers and zooming in on underwear and stuff, it'd be a huge conversation in my house. I talk about it for a really long time with a lot of people. I think we said this last week. We missed the reaction to this actually happening, and we've moved forward to like the healthy growth and evolution of their relationship. You know what I mean? It's like, can we talk about the cheating?
He did, but like he wouldn't let her talk about it.
I guess so. And then it made me, I forgot about Todd blowing up on the iPad, also looking at lingerie women in the middle of the living room. It's like, Todd, what the hell are you doing? You don't think people can look at devices? He needs to get that screen on a plane that has that cover where anybody who's looking at any other angle can't see the weird stuff that you're looking at. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, privacy screen, Todd, if you're going to look at that nasty stuff. There's a quick touch base with Mary and her son at church. It's kind of, I don't know, sad. He still seems sort of bleak. He talks about how when he went to rehab in Malibu, that there was AA meetings talking about the like higher power, and he was like, I was already ahead of the curve on that one. Obviously, I grew up in the church. Not everyone there was like that. And Mary was like, you should teach everyone that that's what they need. And he was like, yeah, because everyone that I was cool with in Malibu relapsed. And she was like, you have to teach them about prayer. And she's like, I'm going to bring all of my sinful girlfriends from this group to church. Yeah. And that's what we see at the end of the show.
She's like, they need God. They need Jesus. She did do a wicked, like a little wicked promo, which I couldn't believe. She goes, going to this church after 2 years of renovation, it feels like going to a new home. And she goes, and there's no place like home. And then she kind of winked at the camera. And that combined with Bravo's logo being in wicked colors, I was like, holy shit. The timing of this sort of wicked stuff is crazy. How they're able to synchronize that.
Never not on the tip of our tongue. I also realized that I don't think I own anything pink. What am I going to wear?
Do you want to switch and I'll wear pink and you wear green?
Do you have pink?
Oh, of course. Oh my God. Yeah. I have a pink suit. I have a pink pants and a pink t-shirt. You know, the dress code is casual cool. So it runs the gamut. It doesn't say professional.
So I have a pink shirt then. If I don't have to get dressed up, like.
Yes. I have a pink sweatsuit, but I'm like, is that.
Like J-Lo?
No,
like
it's
juicy?
It's like, it's actually like, it's really cool. I forget the brand, but it's really cool.
It says Wicked on the butt.
It's like really cool. I'll send you some photos right after we get done recording. I'll wear it and I'll send you them. It's really cool. But what does casual cool mean? Because I don't want to blow another dress code.
It means just anything. Like, anything.
They like dress cool. Don't look like shit.
Like all uncool.
Oh my God! All right. Well, I can't blow this dress code. I do want to say one last thing is I love the clip where Mary is talking about the guy who did the renovations, and there's a big nail, multiple nails sticking out, and he goes, "You don't miss a thing."
I know. I was like, she better have Robert Jr. sit in every single chair and see if he goes, ouch!
Please, before the cast of Salt Lake City gets there, at least.
Yeah, a lawsuit waiting to happen. If I get a nail in my ass when I go to Mary's Pentecostal church, it's over for her.
Lisa and John next.
Yes. This was kind of also, this felt real to me. Like, I don't know what she was expecting to get out of this, but he was already pissed, like, immediately.
Yeah. It's a kind of an involved fight, and we can talk about choice moments, from it. But like the overall thing is that they're having a communication breakdown. Yeah. I think Lisa starts to sort of talk to John about how he corrected her language with their son, and she said that really irritated me. I was trying to give motherly advice to my son, and you told me to change how I said it, and then Henry started like backing you up, and it irritated me completely. And John is kind of instantly, like you already said, he's like, he has a wall up already because he obviously is dealing with shit with Lisa where he doesn't think that she listens, or she only wants him on her page all of the time. So I think this is the most like terse and sort of angry, even though John doesn't get like especially angry, that he's ever been with her, because he seems very frustrated about the lack of communication between them. Like he's fed up just as much as Lisa.
Yeah. At one point she says she's a great listener, and he goes,
yeah, he scoffs, and Lisa goes, I'm getting pissed right now. You're annoying the shit out of me. You're scoffing in a scene with me, talking about how I'm a bad listener. And then he does an imitation. And this is as close to Scenes from a Marriage as it gets between them. He does an imitation of her typing on her phone and going, what'd you say? And I was like, damn, passive aggressive, crazy to do an imitation right in front of her at the table.
Yeah. He also says that they only talk about business, and he feels like there's not really anything else to talk about. And she immediately, you can tell, wells up with tears in her confessional. She's crying. She said it hurts her feelings. And yeah, it ends with him saying, facts are we have a communication breakdown. So, maybe she should stop thinking about Wendy's all the time and think about her marriage.
Oh my God, yeah. I wish there was a cool turn of phrase that we could do. Stop thinking about tequila. Stop thinking about shots of tequila and take a shot on your love for John. Or you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if there's a good turn of phrase with their business like that.
Yeah, like your ice cream from Wendy's isn't the only thing that's frosty right now.
That's amazing. Yeah, something exactly like that. And feel free to workshop those on your own, Turtle Time listeners.
Maybe her problem is that she, I actually don't agree with what I'm about to say, is that she supports the Church of Satan. I think that's really cool. But she says later that she's like, I support all types of churches, including, she starts to be like, not the Church of Satan. And she's like, just kidding. I've given them money too. And I was like, that's awesome.
It's kind of cool. It's like a policy where just absolutely every faith is recognized by her tequila brand. Very, very interesting. This is not resolved, this issue. But I do think that we got a peek into the future at BravoCon. John and Lisa's love could not have been more sort of overshadowing. Every single moment they had heart eyes towards each other, and everyone did a huge happy birthday John Barlow at BravoCon at the panel because it was his birthday.
Yeah, one time I was walking around and I just saw a huge horde of women gathering around, and I was like, who is that? And it was John Barlow.
Yeah. I got to see a little glimpse of John Barlow. He was right next to me in the concessions line for the Bravos. And he was taking photos, and he looked wonderful and happy. Did you get a drink? I got a huge, gigantic beer, and it lasted me the entire I had.
Did you have to pay?
Yeah, only it was a pretty decent price, only $19.
At one point, our friend bought a bubbly water, and it was like $9.
Oh my God! I mean, we haven't even talked about the money. I was just burning money.
Hey, it's a write-off.
Absolutely. Oh my God, I should have put more Turtle Time expenses. Okay, I gotta say this about this Brittany and Jared shit, which I thought was maybe gonna be like a good scene in this episode. I'm tired of Jared and Brittany.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. If I'm tired of it, I have a high threshold for what I'm tired of. I'm tired of this. I don't want to hear any more ups and downs with this relationship. This is a total get off the pot now. It's annoying me.
This was like the most like he was very much, this was his scene almost. Like I feel like usually it's kind of, she's talking about him, but he's not there. But this was like, there was a whole shot where it was like a shot that they were doing steady cam.
I was just going to talk about that shot. He looks like it was framed like he's like Godzilla about to smash a town. And I was like, holy shit, Jared Osmond's coming through. And this
I felt like I had to back away.
Yeah, we both recognize that shot. That's so crazy. That's how like out of place it must have seemed. Jared is very childish. He sounds like he's 24. No offense. I'm not trying to age shame him, but he's just a very childish man. He's very immature. And he's a total gaslighter. And I hate to use that.
Gaslight?
Yeah. Can you say gaslight? Yeah, I'll say it. Because he everything that Brittany says is the most straightforward conversation in the world. I've never seen a more clear-cut question. Are we exclusive or not? And he goes, you say stuff like that when what we're going through is like this. After all I need is stability. And it's like, huh? It was a very simple question. And I watched him turn it instantly on her and then get mad at her when she walks away in frustration and tell her that's the issue, that she walks away, like that she can't take it or something. It was just so obviously someone who just can't commit, but is trying to sort of weave a tangled web in someone's head so that they'll come back and, second guess themselves.
Yeah, he also was like, I heard you were flirting with every man on the ship. And then they showed all the clips. And I'm like, well, first of all, some of those men are not available for Brittany for various reasons. And who cares? She's like, I thought we were on a break, so why do you care? And he's like, I thought we were working on, our problems. And he's like, you always flee and run when something's hard. And she gets pissed off immediately and does run through the woods. It was kind of Blair Witch-esque.
It really was. I was going, what the hell is this? Looks just like the Blair Witch movie that we recapped for Villa Rosa Film Society.
And yeah, she's crying. She's like, "This is exactly why I always break up with you."
Yeah, and then he goes, "Come wait for me, my darling." And he goes up there, and that's when they get a second chance. And when she asks, "Can you just tell me, are we exclusive or not?" He goes, "You're very confusing." And she says, "I'm confusing?" That's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's not a confusing question at all. And then that's when he has sort of that shot where he's like running towards her. It looks really scary for a second. And then he goes, if you want me to be your boyfriend, just be stable for 5 minutes. So blaming her.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's time for Brittany to say goodbye to Jared Osmond. We loved him. You were wonderful. You great stuff with that unicorn, but I know you love Bravo. You went to BravoCon. You got your time. You were established as a bad house husband in this franchise. Yeah. It's time to say goodbye, Brittany. Don't let him have any more camera time. Goodbye.
Yeah, the crowd went apeshit on him at the Salt Lake City panel. I wonder what they would have done if Todd was there, because when they cut to Todd waiting for his talk with Bronwyn on the couch, he couldn't have been frowning any harder.
No, he was grumpy as hell.
He's grumpy old men personified.
He was totally grumpy in that chair. He
giving grouch.
It was giving total grouch. And you're right. If I'm looking at a grumpier old men movie poster and you put Todd in the middle of them, he doesn't look out of place at all. He was grumpy and grouchy as hell, and he loves his phone. He's like, God damn.
I know. I'm like, are you looking at tit pics on there right now?
He looked like he had a frown on his face, but he could have been looking at lingerie photos right there. I'm like, get off your phone. It's a conversation about your phone.
You're too old for this.
Yeah, no, seriously. I don't want to age shame him, but get off your phone for a second. And then Bronwyn, this is a confusing scene. I don't understand it. Mm-hmm. I don't get why we're not talking about what happened, and we're 3 scenes forward or something. We're next season talking about this event when we should be talking about what happened. So
he turns it on her, but also she comes in. She's just gotten home and he's on the couch, and she's like, "Hey, we're to believe that they haven't spoken since he's been gone because he hasn't been staying at home." Mm-hmm. And he goes, "I don't think you locked the door." And I'm like, "What are you, my old ass dad?"
Yeah. He said,
like, you left the lights on.
What was he talking about? She came in, but she didn't lock the door? Meaning like, sorry, like she came in, but he didn't hear the click of the lock behind her. God,
and she was like, "No, I did lock it. It was ajar," but like she had to like tell him exactly what was going on with the door lock. I'm like, he's so annoying.
He's always pissed.
I'm like, you guys are literally home with an entire production crew. Like, it will be okay.
It will be okay. And then he called her begging to come home. He was crying and begging. He was like, "I love you. Let's talk about this in person."
She goes, "What's going on?" And he goes, "Moving and grooving."
Too. He wasn't moving and grooving in this scene, but I could tell that when he was calling, he had that energetic moving and grooving voice. They both were heated in their conversation when she kicked his ass out. And then Bronwyn says, "I'm uncomfortable with what was said on Twitter. The bottom line is I end up feeling not good about myself." And I said, that's the bottom line? It's not that you caught him and busted him, and this is now the second or third time that there's been infidelity in your relationship. The bottom line is it makes you feel bad, I guess. But that's
because I don't think she cares.
I mean, she switched she kind of, no offense to Bronwyn, but she did the strongest pivot towards what she wants this narrative to be, and I'm not ready to go on that path. You know what I mean? And then
I don't think he is either.
I don't think he is either. He's kind of right. And then they bring up that Todd has done this in the past, also with the texting on the iPad thing.
I forgot about that.
Me too. I know, because she negated it in our minds. She was the one who said, "I overreacted. That was a work friend." And she was sending him lingerie photos of a person that worked for, it was more in line with Hewlett Packard. But this, anyway, so she downplayed it and I forgot about it. Like, good on Bronwyn.
I have the HP undies.
You do?
It's a thong.
That's awesome. Yeah, I did. I was exploring when she did say that Hewlett Packard offers a lot of like different clothing items. I did check the website, and there is a full like sort of lingerie.
I have the Intel nipple covers.
It's very cool, and I primarily knew HP for sort of what computing and everything, but the fact that they've sort of launched this clothing line is fun, and it really does play into what Todd said for why he was receiving these. But
do you think I was watching I think it was 60 Minutes, and Bill Gates was on there because he's doing a bunch of like health research funding and stuff. And they showed a B-roll of him on the computer. And I was like, yeah, I guess he does have to use a Windows computer. Do you think he's ever like, oh, I want a Mac?
Of course he does. Oh my God. And no offense to our PC heads. We love you, and you can do a bunch of customizable stuff that us Apple people can't. But yeah, Bill Gates unfortunately always looks he kind of looks like Todd looking at his iPad. He's always sad when he gets on that big gray PC that he has to use.
Internet Explorer. Do you remember that?
Please don't remind me of Internet Explorer. My God. I do like Google Chrome, but even Bill Gates couldn't be a Google head. He's like, I did the worst one. No offense to... Then Bronwyn goes, Todd, I am in love with you as much as a human could be. I love you, and I'm open to whatever kind of stuff would make you happy. If you
He's like, no, I'm good. She's like, no, but like, say you wanted to fuck other people and like I could too, and like something like that. And he's like, nah.
So does he just he wants to cheat?
Yeah, he's like, I want it to be cheating. Thank you. That's part of the fun.
I want it to be cheating. I want it to be cheating that I do. No, I don't. I want to cheat on you secretly and hope you don't find out. I'm not
open to... Actually, a lot of people are that way.
But so even if you get the green flag, just say let's both go.
Yeah, this is where it was confusing because she says it in sort of a jumbled way, and then he goes, "That makes sense. I understand." And I'm like, no, it was like a question. Like she was trying to propose something. It wasn't just like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, he goes, she says, there's no weirdness or shame about what works in your sex life. And he goes, understood. It's like, sorry.
He's like, that's a thing that I understand. Thank you.
Yeah. And then Bronwyn goes, I had a great combo with Whitney and Justin about our sex life. And Todd goes,
he's
now
like,
that's too much.
No.
He goes, what? He picked his head up and he goes, no, that's nobody's business. Why do things that involve us need to be shared with your untrustworthy friends? And I wanted to know, why the hell did Bronwyn talk about why she told Whitney? What was she trying to say to Todd?
Right.
About her saying that she talked about this with Whitney. I mean, like, I don't really know.
Yeah. She should have known that he would hate that.
Yeah, and then she doesn't. She goes, I should be able to share this kind of stuff with my friends, I guess. But I didn't really understand how that affects her and Todd, that the fact that she could share that. But we all know why Bronwyn wants to share things with people, because she wants to continue to be on this show. Mm-hmm. You know, it's on a real impulse that she loves Whitney so much that she's going to share her and Todd's sex life stuff. It's because she has to have climactic scenes with people, interesting scenes. And that's what Todd is pushing back on. But the scene gets derailed, as I said, and then Todd shuts it down completely. He goes, we talked about it, we resolved it, and we're moving forward. And then she's like, can I cry now? Like, tears of resolve? And
he's like, don't cry. No, it made no sense. It was weird. He seemed pissed to even have to do it in the first place. Do you subscribe to the idea that she is pulling a Camille Grammer or whoever else has done this, where she's setting herself up to be free by being on this show?
I do now, sort of, I believe more that Bronwyn's like true deep heart is not there with Todd. And it's more of a, I hope this is not too offensive, but I am more gearing towards that this is sort of like I possibly like more on the Ashley Darby, Michael Darby spectrum than I believed before, unfortunately,
Yeah, they tried to fool us with the inflatables and the Starbucks mugs and the 10 dogs, that they were a fun sort of weird couple, and I'm like, I don't think so.
Is that offensive to say, to compare them to the Darbys?
Why?
I don't know.
Well,
I just want,
because Michael Darby touches people's butts without permission.
No. I just meant that, like, I'm starting, there's a real lack of love here. And to be honest, I don't even think Bronwyn and Todd are still together right now.
She was partying pretty hard at BravoCon. We did see her in the early morning hours on the casino floor.
Let's just break one exclusive. We saw Bronwyn holding court at 4 a.m. at a bar called Hazel.
She was wearing jeans.
She was wearing jeans, and she was with a bunch of influencers and creators that were lapping up everything she said. And then Katie Janelli was in a different... Not us.
We were
Different.
looking from afar.
We were just, we were like, how the hell do we get in here? And then Kate Janelli and Matt Janella, they have the same Janella, they were holding court on a separate area, but they didn't even speak once. But yeah, I don't have any hope that Todd and Bronwyn have weathered this storm. I think it could quite possibly be over. And she was
happy for her if she were free. I just watched a cameo someone posted where they asked her for advice, like career advice, and it was a really long cameo. It was one of those ones where she really took her time, and she was like, who am I to tell you how to get fulfillment from your job? My job is to like hang out with a bunch of bitches that don't like me.
Oh, she said that?
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to say, you teed that up very well. I kind of felt from the Salt Lake City panel and also seeing Bronwyn in the late night at Hazel by herself, except with creators, that Bronwyn is the one who's majorly on the outs with the cast. I felt that with Dorit as well on Beverly Hills, just the way the panel and then seeing what their nightlife activity was. Bronwyn was pretty isolated. There's only 2 or 3 nights of BravoCon, and one of her nights was spent with a bunch of people like you and I, basically, at the Hazel. So I think, and Meredith did allude to the fact where she goes, get ready, receipts, proof, and screenshots are going to come into play again. And that was her major tease. Do you remember that?
Yeah, she was like, just a little tease.
Yeah. Also, what about when Meredith said, I didn't throw that damn unicorn, it never left my hand. Do you remember that? And then I watched the edit again, and Meredith doesn't drop the unicorn. I'm like, you can't fake stuff like that for us on this show. It never leaves her hand. They cut to the unicorn being thrown. So Meredith kind of like revealed a weird behind the scenes secret that I never would have thought that she didn't do that, And then that explains why Daisy ran out with the unicorn and why they were able to like find it so easily, because maybe it was never actually thrown, the real one, or it was thrown but by someone. Yeah. But did you?
There were like a million of them at BravoCon, so.
Yeah, there really were. Anyway, let us know what you all thought that Todd and Bronwyn scene meant, because for me, it was kind of a flop scene where that was important to see Todd and Bronwyn reconnect after Lingerie Gate. And I
know. It's like every scene with him is a flop because he's just not participating.
But Bronwyn's also being purposefully obfuscating like what she also wants to do in a scene because she's so deferential to him. Like she could have just laid the hammer down on him. Been like, what the fuck were you doing, Todd? Get off your phone. Look at me. Why were you looking at lingerie pics? She let him have a confusing scene.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised that she even has the upper hand to make him not stay at home. You know? Like, I would assume he'd be like, I'm not fucking going anywhere.
I said the same thing. I was like, he seems like an asshole who eats your maraschino cherry. He's the one who'd be like, you're out on your ass if you try to get me out. You know what I mean?
He's like, we have spare rooms. Why would I stay somewhere else?
Totally. All right, now let's get to the most sort of, I don't know, the end of the crux of this episode, which is Mary's church. I've already talked about my sort of aversion to wealth and combined with religion. Yeah. And so Mary's church kind of has a lot of triggers for me personally. I
know. I'm like, probably like, first of all, why did it take 2 years to do a renovation that was, from what I can tell, not much was done? Like,
well, she said that a family member did it and he was taking his time.
Sure, but it was like blinds and like upholstery. I'm like, okay.
Well, there's also, there is a scandal. I mean, I'm not going to call it a scandal, but there is a internet scandal brewing. I mean, I believe, if I'm correct, that there's like a TLC documentary gearing up about sort of the
cult of housewives or something.
Is that what it's called?
Or it's like the housewife cult or something, but it's specifically about Mary, but the title makes it sound like it's about the housewives being a cult, but it's about Mary Cosby's church.
Mary's arc is aligned with her church's arc. The 2 years that Mary was sort of on the outs and hated Bravo and didn't want to be in scenes, and then now she's sort of redeemed in all of our eyes, and now she thinks it's the time to show that part of her life again, that we're all ready for it. And my God, did the producers and editors really give Mary that edit with this? Yeah. They were treating this like this was a rock show, like it was one of the best things they've ever seen in their lives. And the cast members were doing that too, to sort of make up for they know, first of all, that the fan love is behind Mary, but they also are trying to redeem themselves for calling it a cult by overdoing it and over emoting about this experience, which I apologize to Pentecostal people but I had a
like
hard
the
time.
Cartwrights.
Yeah, and and we've talked about that with Jackson Brittany. I've already said I was raised religious. I went to church so many times, so I feel more comfortable sort of being able to talk about it, and discuss it versus what I've seen, even though I'm no longer religious. But I could feel that this was the good edit. They were sanctioning this.
Right. Whereas Jackson Brittany Take Kentucky, it was like, look at this shit.
Absolutely. Yes. Totally.
No, I've never forgotten that there was a pending takedown of the comings and goings of the cash from the parishioners to potentially Mary's pockets. She is wearing a $10,000 dress in every single confessional. Like she has a lot of money, which I don't really know how that adds up. She says that the church has been in their family for 60 years. But yeah, I don't really know how that's a money-making enterprise for her specifically.
I don't know either, but even if you make a lot of money, which Mary does outside of the church, obviously I understand why Mary is wealthy, from this show and other things, but I wouldn't wear my wealth specifically to church, like by wearing designer dresses and having gold encrusted Bibles and a gold mic. I do not understand. For me, the wealth and priesthood or whatever, religion are completely separate things.
The Pope would never.
No,
well, I guess the Vatican is guilty of that. But
oh my God, they got so much gold around Pope Leo right now. He's probably looking at everything going, oh my God, there's so much gold around me. But
I love gold.
Yeah, I was going to say, he
probably loves Austin Powers.
He probably feels exactly like Goldmember in Austin Powers Goldmember right now. Remember, he loved gold, I think. And then we learn a kind of emotional facet to this, which is that Robert Jr., after his kind of heartfelt scene with his mom where he talked about how his friends had all relapsed. Not his friends. Well, yeah. Friends in his group.
His rehab friends.
He was high when he was supposed to either take Mary to church or go with her to church. She goes, we have good days and bad days. This was a bad day. So I don't know what constitutes his sobriety, but I would say that this constitutes a relapse for him if he's not supposed to do any drugs.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So the whole group ends up coming to this. Meredith has her foot in a boot. She has a broken toe. But yeah, it kind of just breezes through this whole thing. It's like the band is playing. Everyone's dancing. Mary gets up with her gold mic. She's like kind of crying. The edit is for energy. So I felt that it was lacking substance. Like I was like, I'm ready to hear a sermon of some kind. Like I'm kind of curious what the message is, but it's more like, we've got the fire. Like I'll give you the power.
Yes.
I'm just like, is that all I get when I go to church? It's just more of like a vibe. Like it's not like a lesson or something.
Well, some churches, and I'm also learning this as well. And Mary says specifically, she says, I wing it when I'm up there. I don't know what I'm going to say.
Like same dog. That's
what
I would do. I'd be like, woohoo! Thanks for coming. I feel God. Let's go.
And I haven't been to a Pentecostal church. I don't know I was Baptist, I think, or something. But there was more like lessons, like a Bible verse, and then 45 minutes of talking about what that meant and try to apply it to daily life. So I'd never seen this before. And they have Lisa and Meredith, feeling it. And I do believe that when Mary, in that emotional charged state, her kind of, saying sort of uplifting messages, that they felt something, because they're going through something. So I don't really deny that. It's just always sort of, I think, shocking for me to get a peek into what the religion is for anybody. It's exactly like when Heather described Mormonism in her book. When I read it for the first time, she's telling me all these things that I've never heard of before. And it's always just a little jarring to learn, what the inside of a church looks like. I do want to say before they went in, I do want to just say that I really disliked how the group were treating Lisa and Meredith about going to Mary's church. They have this huge, again, the same group that was ostracizing them in the start of the episode. They're talking about Lisa and Meredith, are they going to have the gall to show up? I couldn't imagine like they're basically saying like I hope we've frozen them out or iced them out enough to where they would never show their faces here. And then Lisa and Meredith, who are strong enough, they're like, we're not missing another call time. If we got the call time for this event, you're not going to shame us off this show, Whitney, as much as you'd like to now with Heather's blessing. So then they show up, which I'm glad they did. Every single scene you don't go to, you justify yourself being off the show. So I was glad they showed up. And then Heather does a total two-faced thing to Lisa where she hugs her and she talks to her. And Lisa's like, Meredith says, why the hell would they think that I wouldn't go to this thing? I've been Mary's supporter for years. Like, if anything, it's more justified that Meredith would go than Whitney, who called her a cult leader. So there's so much hypocrisy here. And then when they're all sort of like icing them out like bullies, mean-spirited people, Heather then like they all walk into the church and Heather goes, don't leave me with those two. Like, I need to get up before them. And I was like, God damn, total Judas behavior. You kissed Lisa on the cheek, you hugged her, and then you're like, get me away from her. She sucks completely. It's like, I'm so I cannot believe we're watching a takedown season in real time like this. If I asked you, what is Heather mad at Lisa about, what would you say?
Yeah. I mean, she's just holding firm to her being a leaker. And I will say at the Salt Lake City panel, or was it at the, no, it was the Watch What Happens Bravo Live with Andy from last night. They said they would spin a wheel and people had to answer a question. And it was like, who on this stage is most likely to like spread info to the press or whatever? And it went to Lisa Barlow. And she's like, who do you guys think? And the whole audience went, you.
Wow.
And she was like, I would never.
She's not escaping the leaker allegation. But be that as it may, whatever that is, I am starting to sort of slowly turn on Heather for how she's treating Lisa Barlow. I see the wheels spinning. I see that Whitney has conspired with Heather to take down two OGs for one right now. Like, it is their dream. It's their dream to get them off the show and run this thing. And
I mean, watching the show this season, I felt that Lisa, I mean, it's partially probably because of the dynamic of this, that she hasn't been as fun or able to do as much. But then seeing her at BravoCon, you're like, she's indispensable.
Oh, absolutely. But you realize, though, that all of them are. I
know, even Whitney.
Yeah, as much as there is this sort of positioning for more power in the center snowflake, they are all so valuable. That's what makes them the second best cast in Bravo history after our
season 7 Roni.
Yeah, absolutely, they are. And that panel cemented their legacy by showing all those iconic moments from all of them. But anyway, I just can't stand it. Who agrees with me, Turtle Time listeners? What about this Lisa takedown? No one else likes Lisa Barlow, I think, except me in the entire world. But I see through this thing. Anything else to say now that we're back to the church? You know, anything else to say about that service?
It was kind of cute when Mary was all energized. She did a little individual shout out to each of the housewives, going, like, Bronwyn, you're going to be okay. And she cries in her confessional saying that she's been really worried about her parents and like where her relationship with Todd is going. So she needed that. Like, you could tell she was about to cry the whole time. And all of the women, I think every single one of them have some sort of a religious background that makes them open to this. Like, they are all like, you could tell they're all like, I needed this. Like they wanted to be there and liked the little vibe, the confirmation from Mary that they were supported and going to be okay. They all like were emotional.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. Like, I could walk into any church in the world and sit for 45 minutes and probably be inspired
Stress
by the
test.
Yeah, I've done that too. And I liked what the guy said. He goes, say the word childhood. And I go, it goes, and I go, oh my God. I go, there is something that I need to talk about my childhood. I'm just like, there's always, you know what I mean? There's always some merit to.
By the way, I watched like the entire, in little clips, the Academy Honors, whatever the hell that's called, the what's that, the honorary Oscar thing that Tom Cruise got this week. And I was literally like, hail LRH. I was like, whatever we need to do to support this man. He is the GOAT.
You mean whatever gets Tom through the night is
Sign me up.
I mean, but you know what? It's Tom Cruise, number one, and then we kind of got a long way of inspirational figures after that.
Yeah.
The number two in Scientology is like, we got John Travolta's like, I love him, but I don't know. I mean, he's
also like, I feel like actively being blackmailed by them.
Yeah.
Potentially. Allegedly.
Who? Tom?
Never mind.
No. Oh my God. Oh, Amy, you can't say that kind of stuff, especially because I know, where you are right now. Yeah, but I'm just saying Tom Cruise is so inspirational, but who's number two? Elizabeth Moss or
yeah.
John Travolta?
Jenna
Elfman. And they lost Leah Remini, huge star.
Michael Pena,
yeah, he's awesome.
Wait, has the Heather Mormon Leah Remini show come out yet?
No, I think it has. Oh yeah.
Gotta watch that.
Do you think anyone goes in like Michael Pena and or Giovanni Ribisi and goes, "Hey, can I have what Tom Cruise is having?"
Yeah, Michael Pena's like, "What have you fucking gotten me since The Martian, bitch?"
Seriously, it's like, "Hey, we know you're number one convert or whatever. Like, can I have a little bit of whatever you did for him?" It's like, we're working on it.
Yeah. No, I was just I was enraptured the way that they all were with Mary with Tom Cruise's speech. It was wonderful. Highly recommend checking it out. He deserves every gold statue.
And then he starts dancing his ass off. I didn't watch the speech yet, but then he started celebrating. I was like, oh my God, Tom Cruise, you dance. He looked great out there.
Oh my God, he's so cool.
He's so cool.
Also, I kind of felt like Mary was trauma dumping during her speech. She goes, my mom, I wasn't even invited to her funeral. And I was like, is that relevant?
Yeah, she was, like she said, she was spitballing up there. She was just saying whatever came to mind. We're going to be sort of like, we're going to have to watch that Church of Horrors documentary with one eye closed with our newfound Mary love. I'm going to be like, what happened?
I know. Yeah, we got to watch that and the Heather thing, and we'll report back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty much, it's very like spliced and diced, this whole thing. It's like, hallelujah, whatever you need, I'll give it to you. Like, he's gonna deliver to you, and they're all like, yeah.
Yeah. You don't get a real feel. You just get the sort of the energy and little quick, blips of it. If Andy Cohen said, I loved that last 10 minutes, that was the best thing I've ever seen, then I'd like, I want to hear him explain it. But if Little Turtle Cuties or Villa Rosa VIPs, if you said, whoa, I loved those last 12 minutes, then let us know. Did that make it the best episode? Because I think me and Amy are a little more jaded to that.
I guess so.
They didn't reel me in as hard as they tried. But
also, I think on their way in, Whitney is like, Meredith and Lisa are going to be sweating like whores in church once they get in there. And then by the end, because they all have little fans, Lisa's like, it's hot as hell in here. And Whitney's like, I told you. And I'm like, they're not going to like that.
Yeah, whores in church, you mean?
Yeah.
Beat that accusation. Oh, no, they're not going to like it at all. No, I can't watch Whitney be gleeful about Lisa and Meredith. It irks me too much. All right. Well, we just said it. That was a 6 out of 10 for me. I don't know what the hell Andy was talking about. It doesn't matter. This is an amazing run. One of the best seasons, like all of Salt Lake City seasons. But this was. Yeah.
I don't think it's just our dopamine crash. I think it was just kind of mid. But and next week there wasn't anything too promising. There's more Muzzy, and then we get Brittany and Meredith sitting down, and I can't imagine that goes well. But
I know
we'll see.
Yeah, I was like, next week is what he meant, and then there's no scenes that look shocking or interesting to me next week either. But whatever, they'll surprise me. Amy and I now have to go. It's 2 days after BravoCon. We're both dead as doornails, and so we have to leave. But I want to say something. I'm gonna promote the shit out of something. Amy and I put our blood, sweat, and tears into something called the BravoCon 2025 Adventure on Patreon. I know a lot of Little Turtle Cuties don't ever want to get Patreon. You listen to this every week and you say, I'm never going there. I'm never buying that. But I do think if you want to hear sort of an hour and a half of Amy and I telling every little secret that came out about BravoCon that we learned firsthand, I do think it's worth $5. Then why don't you take a peek at the recap series of Vanderpump Rules that we do, and then maybe, just maybe, you might want to stick around and become a Villa Rosa VIP. And being a Villa Rosa VIP is a beautiful, wonderful thing to be because we get to hear from our Villa Rosa VIPs. We have discussion boards for every single episode. Amy and I factor those questions in or discussion points in. It's a wonderful community. We love it so much. So please join us there, and maybe that BravoCon 2025 episode will be the thing that brings you.
Yeah, totally worth it, I'd say. You don't want to miss our hot tea. And then, yeah, after you listen to that one, it will be Vanderpump Rules recaps, and you'll get a backlog of like, what did we say? 100 and how many hundreds?
Oh, we're like we can't even count them. 130. Who knows? Oh my God, we're at season 8, episode 4 or something. It's so crazy what we're doing over there.
It's wild. And then, as always, we have right now is the perfect time to order shit for Christmas. We got a lot. We saw so many cool people at BravoCon wearing our shit, even if they didn't know who we were. They just found it on Etsy. Brooks and Dawn, Bedbugs, Wes Wilson, Kristen Doty. Kristen Doty posted James May. We just saw this right now. The James May account posted one of our Turtle Cuties wearing the Kristen shirt, and they sell t-shirts, and they still posted our t-shirt.
It was so good to them that they were like, we like our T-shirts, but we have to post this T-shirt. Shout out to Emily, who was the model for this shirt. It was pretty awesome that James May reposted this. So yeah, I mean, that was awesome. We were seeing our merch around BravoCon. The coolest people in the world were wearing our shit. So get that for a Christmas present, and we love you. What else can I say? We love you, and we'll see you back on for our Friday episode where we're going to be. Oh my God, that just sent like a shiver, a good, what do you say? What's a good shiver? A thrill. That sent a thrill through my body when you said Bapa Do like that, because we're going to be talking about Southern Charm on Friday. You're not going to.
I'm not even ready. Like, we have to actually care about that.
I know. That's a real thing we have to recap. We've been, okay. Yes. So you and I need to get some sleep because we need to recap Southern Charm for Friday. That's huge. We're going to go now. We love you all. Be back on Friday. Bye.
Bye.